Good morning, the JSS students. We are in Bridges Without Rivers and on the story Game Over by Nashire Seunda. I hope we did together the analysis with you, but I am reminded to do something on styles. Now, I'm hoping that this holiday you are reading the books because there are quite many. Whether you're in grade 7 or 8, you need to read these books because they are tested in your KCSE. Now, when you look at Bridges Without Rivers, this story Game Over, I hope you remember it was about poaching. We already covered themes. If I can remind you, I hope you saw the theme of animal rights, materialism, poverty, desperation, betrayal, brutality. You also saw poaching, greed, selfishness, and media. Now we are on to the styles, and I'll show you the few styles in this story. The first story is dialogue. I hope when you read this story you saw a conversation that Chung Ling held with Mugeni, asking about possibility of getting 20 rhino horns, and even though these animals are endangered and guarded, we saw Mugeni assuring Chung Ling that he will actually get it because in this country everything is possible. So we look at page 11 for that. You also saw a conversation in which Chung Ling addresses Mugeni when he shows up at the park. Mugeni starts explaining how he will deliver the goods. That is page 14. Another conversation that happens in this book between Lengai and Mugeni. Lengai tells Mugeni how bad killing rhinos is and the general animals and urges them to stop. On the other hand, we see Mugeni insisting that they should shoot the rhinos because he will be paid handsomely. The second style that we meet in this book or story is use of similes. If you look at page 1, you'll see like an enraged hissing snake, showing how Mugeni was annoyed with Lengai's delay. Page 5, there is shooting of 10 rhinos, would be like killing of goose that laid the golden egg. There is use of metaphor. If you check on page 3, you will actually see the prized jewel. They are referring to a rhino here. Horns are also a curse that the deity placed on rhinos. That is page 2. You will see that the killing of the rhinos would be a bloodbath. That is page 5. Then we have sermon on page 6 when Mugeni is trying to convince Lengai that the shooting should not happen, right? Then we see also a walking gold mine. Rhinos were considered a gold mine. That is page 3. We have the use of idiom or idiomatic expression. Page 6, one that could cause a proverbial crocodile to shed genuine tears. Then we have the poaching pinch had begun to bite deep at the point. That is page 6. Then D-Day. That is page 7. Red flags, page 6. If you don't know what these idioms means, you can ask me just below the comment section. Then I'll tell you what they mean. The next style is flashback. Lengai flashbacks how he and Johnny had killed a rhino that was almost calving. Johnny had pulled a calf out of the canal and checked whether it had horns. A fluid had splashed all over his face, and he had walked the whole night with this stench. That is page 8. He also recalls how he had stayed 2 days without a meal after killing this killing. And Mugeni came, no, not after the killing, that is before. Then Mugeni came to him. Okay, let's finish the other styles. So we had discussed flashback in that story. We also have stream of conscience. I ever told you about this. When you realize that a story has thoughts being exposed from characters. So if we look through this story, you realize that Lengai's inner voice asks him what would happen if he failed to complete the shooting task. That is page 2. If you look at page 11, Lengai's insider voice also disagrees with what he's about to do. And you hear the part, do you have to do it? Right? We have irony in this story. Irony comes because Chung Ling demands that he wants rhino horns. Then later we see him coming to arrest Lengai and Mugeni. It was not expected. It is also not expected that Lengai, who have been fighting poaching, would fall in the trap of poaching later. We also see that guides have been assigned to the task of guarding the rhinos. However, they are the ones endangering by selling the horns and killing those rhinos. We have onomatopoeia as a style, and we have so many words. You look at page 1, you find the word mattered. Page 10, quivering. Page 1, rang. Page 2, shooting. Then chuckled, page 3. Mumbled, page 3. Screaming, page 4. We have direct address. Direct address comes when Mugeni is talking to Lengai, quickly telling him to shoot the rhino instead of delaying. That is at page 1 and page 2. We have ellipses also. If you look at page 1, Mugeni stammers while talking to Chung. Sir, I will bring the goods, right? Then we have vivid description in this story. Mugeni's wide eyes were fixed on the target. That is 50 or 60 kilometers away. Then Chung Ling, turning his focus to his guide, who was wearing a pair of dark blue jeans and an orange t-shirt. We have also been told he could not hide his excitement. His small slanting eyes narrowed with ecstasy as he chuckled. That is page 3. We have rhetorical questions also. Page 2, Mugeni asks, what is it, Lengai? Why are you delaying to shoot that bloated creature? Page 11, Chung Ling asks Mugeni, you thought you were clever, didn't you? Then we have the last style that I found here, which is contrast. The killing and compassion towards rhinos is contrasted on page 2. Again, page 2, we have a short, thick man, Mugeni, who is contrasted with a tall, slender man, Lengai. Page 3 and page 11, Chung Ling, who had demanded for the rhino horns, is much contrasted with the one who comes to arrest Mugeni and Lengai. So I'll give you a short exercise over this holiday as I show you the rest of the notes too. Look at these notes on dialogue, on simile, on metaphor, on idiom, on flashback, on stream of conscience, irony, onomatopoeia, direct address, ellipses, vivid description, rhetorical questions, and contrast. Now my activities are below. The first question is, how do you feel after reading this story? Why? What characters pleased you? Why? What characters displeased you? Why?